So location, we talked about that. What about income? So actually, I got a bunch of guys that drop questions on the community tab of my channel. So I'm going to throw those up on the screen in a bit. But one of the things that I really wanted to talk about was income. There's a lot of guys right now that have messaged me talking about how their jobs are threatened, and they feel like they either have to take the jab or they're not going to have work. Okay. In some cases, they're not even firing people. They're just saying, if you don't do what we tell you to do, we're not going to give you work, right? So if you're like working for an organization where they get sent out on jobs, if you haven't ticked off their boxes, they're not going to give you the job. So they're not going to fire you. They're just not going to give you work to do. So it's effectively the same thing. And a lot of these guys, some of them, work for police forces, fire services, medical services, the frontline guys that we were all praising. Oh, we praise our frontline workers, all of that, circus that we did a couple of years ago when the beer bug kicked off. Now, all of a sudden, these guys are nobodies. It's take the jab or lose your job. And it's hilarious to me because, the narrative that you hear all the time is, the ICUs are overwhelmed, and we have to take the jab to save the ICUs from being overwhelmed. And it's like, and then the next breath, and they want to fire like 25% of their staff. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. Are you guys cluing in here yet, or is it just me? Income's real important. So how do you protect your ability to earn in whatever currency it is that you decide to earn in? You can earn in fiat, you can earn in crypto, you can become self-employed. There's barter systems out there, of course. I was watching this in-depth, how can I put this? If you're familiar with the Amish or the Mennonites, you see them around, in rural country with their, horse and buggies. And the funny thing is they're probably the best position automatically, believe it or not, to enjoy this decline. They don't have access to any outside information for the most part, depending on how conservative or liberal their structure is. But for the most part, they don't drive, they don't have cell phones, they don't have radios or TV. None of this stuff impacts them. They don't deal with the wokeness. They don't deal with any political influence. All they really do is pay some taxes. They don't even bother voting, because to them, the highest order for them is their own religion. So, it's funny because when I was watching, I was thinking, damn, man, these guys got it set up so that not a lot in the outside world can potentially bother them that much, unless they show up and they start cramming stuff down their throat, and they're going to have to deal with that problem as well. So, your income, you got to have the ability to barter, because all that money is just it's just a storage of value. It's just a store of value, really, is all that it boils down to. Because you go back, 10, 20,000 years ago, there was, as a Cooper, my last name basically meant barrel maker. Okay. So anybody in the UK that had the last name made barrels. And then, you'd of course have smiths, you'd have blacksmiths and stuff like that and stuff. And there'd be people that would farm chickens and cows and hay and freaking, make barrels and stuff like that. And then they would barter, with one another. But the problem was that in those days, like, a barrel's good for a long time. You can make a barrel sit there, it's good, but your harvest of perishables isn't. So the question, then came up, well, how do you store value in something that has been created? And they started using things like gold and silver and precious metals and stuff like that. And we switched over to paper money. And we're starting to move over to cryptos, right? The pivot is happening. So that's all that money is a store of value. So you need to be able to have access to value to exchange it for stuff, right? Real estate, transportation, housing, shelter, food, whatever that may be. So a lot of guys, like I said earlier, they're about ready to lose their freaking jobs, right? There's guys here in the chat right now. I know one of them that, has been threatened, take the jab or you're losing your job, right? So how do you preserve that? Do you want to keep working for woke corporations? Because it's, hey, listen, I'm probably older than a lot of the audience that watches my stuff. There's some guys that are even older than me. I realize that. But for the most part, when I was 20, none of this stuff existed. There was no quotas, agendas, wokeness, none of this stuff. It was just, hey, you come to work, you do your job, you get paid. We'll do the Christmas party. We'll do the summer barbecue. We'll have the watermelon eating contest and all that sort of stuff, and everybody gets paid, and they go on happy-go-lucky. But we're actually in a position now, if you want to enjoy the decline, you got to figure out a way to preserve your income, right? Because if you're going to rely on some dude that's woke as well, that's feeding the Fed narrative, the state narrative, cramming it down your throat, and you don't want to do something. They say, oh, if you don't do this, if you don't wear this pink pussy hat or something like that, we're going to fire you. What are you going to do? You're going to keep bending over, taking it all the time? You got to figure out a way to make sure that your income's good. You got to enjoy that decline. Best way, in my view, to do that is entrepreneurship. That's been my chosen path. I mean, I left the corporate world 17, 18 years ago. I have not. I'm working on getting this thing called the TN visa for travel. And one of the things they asked me was for my not for my passport, but for my CV, for my resume. I just laughed. I'm like, I have not been employed for a long time. I do not have a resume or a CV, right? So, we had to hop on a call and talk about that with one of the partners there. But yeah, you gotta make sure your income's sorted out, guys. You want to enjoy that decline, you got to make sure you have a steady source of income. And the most powerful thing that you can do is not rely on somebody else. There's a lot of guys right now, like I said, about 25% of the workforce, approximately somewhere between 20 and 25% of the workforce right now is afraid to lose their job in many places in the West. Canada, especially, I know it's starting to happen in the US, and they're really pissed off about it. And they're left with this decision. Do I breach my values and yield, or what? Like, what's the next option? So how do you enjoy that decline in that environment? Right? I mean, maybe like one of the things I would be asking potential employers right now is what their position is on certain things, right? Especially if they're trying to poach you from another company. Like if they're trying to steal you from another company and they're trying to lure you into their business, find out what kind of business that's being run, right? Who runs the show? What's it all about? What's their value system? Is it something that's going to allow me to enjoy my decline, right? Good questions to ask. Right. It's the same sort of thing. Like I put out on Twitter in the last week, I said something like, I'm not going to get into any business dealings or partnerships with anybody on a go forward basis that's vaccinated themselves because they're too gullible for me to trust. That's what it boils down to for me. So ask yourself questions like that, right? You got to take a look at that. I know there's a lot of people watching this right now that probably have been vaccinated. They're like, I just did it. I didn't want to do it, but I just did it. I've talked to a lot of guys, just, I don't want to get fired. I got a family to feed. I don't know, man. How do you enjoy yourself in that environment? It's a question you got to ask, right? What are you going to use to store value? Cryptocurrency is great for that. I know some guys don't like it. Oh, it's going to go to zero. It's going to go to zero, Rich. Yeah, we've been saying that for how many years now? 11 years. Keeps going up. You compare it side to side to any other store of value or market, and it just destroys it. So I don't know what, like 3% of the world population uses crypto. I don't know what the percentage is that has gold or silver. I mean, I got gold and silver too, but cryptocurrency to me seems like it's going to be the obvious winner. What are you going to store value in? You got to figure that out too, right? Make sure you got that thing. And I wouldn't put it all in one place. Like I see people pile it all into real estate. I see people pile it all into one token on the blockchain. There's idiots out there that brag. Like there's this one guy, I think they call him the Dogecoin millionaire. And he looks exactly how you think he would look. And he's going on about how he piled all of his money into Dogecoin and made a couple $1 million off it. Or it's worth a couple $1 million. He hasn't made it yet because I believe he's not selling it. But again, don't put it all in one place. You got to diversify that shit, spread it out, right? Put it into things, that can be moved, that are good stores of value, that are going to hold or appreciate in value in the future. Like there's going to be a demand for it. Okay. So pay attention to that. I mean, you want to enjoy the decline? Make sure you have stores of value and currency that's useful.